Good morning, everyone.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Tarek. Oh, good morning, Oliver. Good morning, everyone. Get myself set up here with the chat. There it is. That's there. That's there. Okay. So my plan for today. So things to know before the open. Stock futures seem steady. So not massive movement after the NVIDIA earnings from last night. That's what I was saying yesterday, is that we have to wait. Let's see how the market reacts. Yes, aftermarket, it spiked up and then came back down. That was the second point there. NVIDIA beats estimates by $2 billion. So yes, there was a big gap up. But what will it do once the market opens this morning? And then the other thing was CRM drop on weak revenue. Economic calendar at 8:30, there was core PCE and jobless numbers. I don't go into detail about that. I just like to know if there's anything massive going on, like CPI or things like that. And I don't see anything once the market is open. So for myself, there's nothing that's too concerning. And there are no earnings, BMO or AMC aftermarket close that I am looking at. So I will look at the higher time frame. I will look at setting alerts on my core 10 tickers, and then possibly NQ, ES, GC, CL, whatever anybody's looking at. And then during the session, I will talk about what worked. My KT short signal happened yesterday. When I say signal, I'm talking about signal to myself. It's not a signal to anybody else. It showed up and I took the trade. So Apple, here we go. Apple on the 30-minute time frame. Let's zoom out a bit. There we go. So we did seem to make bottom over here, went sideways and then up, and it's in an area of interest for me because I look to the left. And when I look to the left, there's this large area here. So pretty much where it is right now, we went above yesterday's high, but it was aftermarket hours. So right at this level, I will be looking, not in the first 5 minutes, but we'll see what happens in the first half hour. I want to see what the market does. How does it digest what happened with NVIDIA yesterday? I'll set the alert, but it'll probably go off right at the open. So that's what I'm looking at for Apple. Not a long or short. I just want to see how does it react at this level. Next, AMD. AMD, I can assume, had a massive candle. Sorry, this was from the Meta news. Yesterday, once NVIDIA announced, I was watching it and it spiked up, but in the 30-minute time frame, it spiked up and then came back down. So there was not a lot of buying, not a lot of interest in AMD yesterday after hours. So we'll see what happens. The level of interest is below here because that's where we look left, and there's a lot of room to the left. I'm going to set a line here because this was the level that we broke out of on the Meta news. So this could be a level of support. So I will look to see what happens at the bottom. If it goes any higher, I'm not really interested because there's no room to the left. Amazon. I need to change my plan on TradingView, which I'll probably do today. Okay, so again, room to the left, above these wicks here. So we rejected this level yesterday. We rejected it after hours and pre-market. What happens today? What happens at this level? I will set an alert just above this level because if it were to pop up here, I'd much prefer that it rejected around this level. So probably right around here. I am setting an alert. Again, it's probably going to go off right at the open. But if it doesn't, it'll alert me a little bit later on. As far as the bottom is concerned, this area here might be interesting because we wicked down and saw a lot of buying after hours yesterday at this level. So there might be support here. It was an interesting level here. And again, it was a level here. So I could put a horizontal line right there. It is right at S3. We are in a lower range, but we've already gone above R4. So there's a little bit of buying going on in Amazon. So I'm looking to see where there's room to the left, and it is to the higher side. All right, it's the upper range here. Google. Let's go to the 30-minute. Let's zoom out a bit. There we go. Google seems choppy. There was, oops, what is this there for? Oh, I'm in replay mode. That's why. Leave. There we go. I was using this as an example yesterday for the double bottom on Tuesday. So this level is interesting on Google. You look to the left. We have not been here in days. There's definitely room. It has put in long wick on the 30-minute here right at R4. So Google might be interesting here for possible breakout and retest and possible rejection of this level. Next is Meta. This level here, I'll leave it here. Room to the left, above yesterday's high, possibly. Before then, I don't see anything, and below, I don't see much because we had this big opening range candle yesterday at the open. Not really interested personally in Meta. So the 30-minute on Microsoft. Lots of room to the left where it is right now. It was on the higher time frame going down, but then we put in this massive indecision candle here. There was a big battle between buyers and sellers a few days ago, and we have been making new highs. However, this area right here, I'm going to put a line, was support, chopped around this area. Resistance yesterday right underneath, and right now we're right there. So interesting level where it is right now. What it does at this level will be interesting. It could break out and retest higher, or it could reject. This is also an area of interest. Actually, I don't like the line. I'm going to put a rectangle and just a little rectangle over here. So this could be an area of liquidity. There is definitely a lot of room to the left here. So we'll see what happens. Again, not really interested in the first half hour of Microsoft. I was looking at the earnings here. This is where we see that there was a $2 billion beat. The estimate was $66 billion in one quarter, and they actually reported $68 billion for the quarter. Pretty incredible. So is AI dead? I don't think so. However, what is the price? Is it already priced in? That's what Avi, that's what we were talking about in the room yesterday afternoon. You know, yes, the earnings were fantastic, but at 195.70, is this number already priced in? Right? We don't know. That's why I'm waiting to see how does the market react after the market open. NVIDIA will absolutely be on my watch list. I want to see, it'll be more of a price action thing because as far as room to the left, there's not much below and there's not much above. So I will look at it, but again, probably not in the first half hour. I'll look at it, but I'm not planning on doing anything in the first half hour. 30-minute time frame on Tesla. Over the last couple of weeks, been a choppy mess. massive candle yesterday and then pushed down, but slowly making it back up. It's in a zone of chop right now. No room to the left above price, and not much room to the left below price. This is where we saw a lot of support yesterday. So let's put a line here. We can tell that this was a line of interest, and then yesterday it was support. So how will it react here? That's all I'm looking at. Qs could be a very, yesterday went up above this level here. There's this gap here that's interesting. But Qs, I'm not really interested right now until we get above yesterday's high, or even below yesterday's range over here. There's not a lot of room to the left. Right? In other words, there could be a lot of support at S3 here. So if we make it down to S3 here, it could be a higher time frame break and then retest of this area. So I'm going to see how the candles form. As far as rejecting the highs, it would have to be above yesterday's high here. So we'll see what happens. I will not set an alert because I will be watching SPY and Qs. On the 30-minute here, there we go. SPY had a really nice run yesterday from pre-market all the way to the NVIDIA earnings, and then it pulled back. This area on SPY here is very interesting. Let's put a line here. All right, so that was yesterday's high. It was also a high, a recent couple weeks ago high. So how will it react here? That's what I want to know. I'm just going to wait to see what price does. 927, that's what I'm looking at in my 10 core tickers. And then just for the fun of it, let's look at gold on the higher time frame. Been going sideways. NQ will be very similar to what we just saw on the Qs. Same thing with ES. So I don't have ES here, and I was looking at CoreWeave this morning. MCL we were looking at yesterday. Big drop down. Could be a level of support here. Right, we see this big candle, wick candle here. Well, why? Because this is a level right here. Let's put a rectangle here. Right around here. That's a level of support. Plus, for Camarilla traders, S6 could be a strong level of support. So those of you trading crude oil, this could be an interesting level. But I want to see what the market will do once it's open. So let's get trading view off of here. If there are any questions, please don't hesitate. If there's anything you want to share, any ticker you're looking at, please don't hesitate. I often say that it's incredible how trading has developed my patience, and you have to be patient with us. There's no way I'm taking anything in the first couple minutes because we don't know how the market will react to what's going on, the PCE numbers, the NVIDIA numbers. So I'm just locking in, just being patient, going to see what happens at these levels. My eyes are always going to the left. I always want to see how will the market react? You look at Apple here. Well, the market has not been here in a while. So it will likely be uncomfortable here. So what will it do? Is it going to break out of this level to another resistance level, or will it reject this level? I don't like it when it happens right at pre-market or within the first few minutes, because we don't really know how the market is reacting yet. So anyway, taking a breather. There you go. Market is open. This mic is on. Good luck, everyone. Whoever is trading the open. Alerts are going off. Zoom communications down 7.5%. That is a big red candle on Google. There's my alert on Apple. I want to see how does it react here. Let's look at the tape on Apple. Not a lot of orders, low RVol. I wouldn't be surprised to see low RVol on a lot of things like SPY, because I'm not the only one that's waiting to see what's going on. This looks like it might be forming the kangaroo tail that I like to trade. I don't like trading it in the first 5 minutes. Getting a lot of alerts of things being down, even though the market is half. This is just a sample of tickers that I put on there. Green and red. I was going to say half and half, but it seems to be a little bit more green than red. If you look at the larger dotted line, so Apple is above, AMD below, and that larger dotted line, by the way, is my previous day close. Google definitely grabbed a liquidity down below yesterday low and yesterday low. Yesterday low is YYL is 2 days ago low. So could be an interesting level right here. Right. NVDA on the way down, so lower than yesterday's close, lower than yesterday's low. Pre-market low is right here. You know, that's what we were talking about yesterday. They just blew past expectations by $2 billion, but the stock's going down. A lot of people don't understand that. Well, it's because these prices are forward-looking. So $200 a share is thinking probably way ahead in the future. That's why I don't trade earnings. I do have a very short-term strategy that I use rarely now. But I want to see how the market will react. With this red line from a few days ago, how will it react? Are we going to find support? Apple is definitely putting in a, for now, bearish candle. I'm going to put Apple on my screen here as well as the Apple puts, the 272.50 puts. Very hard to take a short on here because where would you put your stop? It has to be a very wide stop above here to be proven wrong. That is a very, that's a $2 from entry to stop, and it's a $2. So you need a $6 move to make 3R. That's what I mean about the first 5-minute candle being the kangaroo tail. It's hard to trade because of the stop, because of the long wick. By the way, Avi asked me to share that he will not be in the room today. His daughter, unfortunately, is not feeling well, so he won't be able to join us today. So if Apple breaks down below here, again, it's not the perfect setup. I'm not taking it, but 274.40 will be an interesting level, but it's right at PDC, which is a strong level of support or resistance, depending on which side we're on.
I was short in the pre-market, the Nasdaq, but I got uncomfortable and I took it out as break even. And now the trade idea is playing perfectly as I just imagined.
Yeah, that's often what happens with pre-market, right? So on the NQ, you said? Or Qs? I don't know if you're hearing me or if your mic is off, but
Yeah, I can hear you.
yeah,
I had good entries to 25,373.
yeah, let's look at it on the, and that's a 1 minute. That's way too short of a time frame. So where could it possibly bounce? Well, right, we can tell that we have resistance here, and then we blew past it right here. And so this level right here is definitely an interesting level. So let's draw a rectangle. I'm just going to go from here to here. So whoops. Right, this level here is interesting. Right, let's look at it. We were chopping over here and then touching here, touching here, touching here, and then we blew past it. So that was the breakout. Are we just retesting? Are we just coming back down to S4, which is a possible level of buying? I would be very interested to see how it reacts inside this level.
I had a trade idea also for this one. It was like when the market, especially futures, when they gap up or down and they're not able to close the gap, most likely the biggest move in the beginning of the market is towards the gap size. So we gapped down this morning. If we look at the 5 minutes, it will be a little bit clearer.
Right here?
So, yeah.
Is that the gap? You mean between the close of the market yesterday, the 1 hour close?
Yes.
Okay.
And we tried to close the gap early in the pre-market, but it rejected. It rejected once, and yes, this is the one just before the pre-market. This is 750. Yes, this one. And it started setting up reverse ABCDs. So I entered on the first ABCD. I added on the second one, which is the perfect idea for the perfect storm, just to push down at least to 264.
Yeah, great. Thank you for sharing. This did not take out liquidity below this. This did take out liquidity from yesterday's low. So this candle on Qs is very interesting. We'll see how that candle closes. It doesn't close as a strong kangaroo tail like I like them. but it's definitely a strong candle because it went down and the buyers pushed it back up. So Tarek, if you don't mind me asking, oh, wait a minute. So this KT on NVIDIA is very interesting. Let me just look at this on the 5 minutes. NVIDIA. So the high was 191.40. Yeah, the second candle. So this is the kangaroo tail formation that I like. The body is within the body of the previous candle. The wick is more than 2/3. Now, if it makes a new high, I will absolutely start looking at it. Sometimes I'll get in depending on price action. Let's look at NVIDIA on the tape here. Sometimes it's obvious that it's just going to take off. Again, conservative stop below the wick. Aggressive stop just around 50% of the wick. I'm looking at NVIDIA right now, also paying attention to what's happening generally in the market. I'm going to set an alert above this 5-minute candle on Qs just to see if buying is coming in. KT forming on Google as well. It is right at S6, but that is a very big, a few very big 5-minute candles. It's not an area of support from a few days ago. I'll be curious to see how this candle closes here. See, it's still hanging around the 191.38.40 area. There you go. So NVIDIA, I'm switching to the 1 minute. It's not, with a kangaroo tail, you want to see it really take off. Meta seems to be breaking out. We see buying at 190 on NVIDIA. If it breaks below 190, this thing could flush to 185. Still not getting involved in anything. On the shorter time frame, this looks like a really nice setup for the breakdown and retest. Go down, retested this level here with a trendy kangaroo. Wicked up, caught a lot of longs, and then making new lows. But on a shorter time frame, now it's showing the possibility of a double bottom. Personally, I don't trade the double bottom on the 1 minute time frame. You want to see, is there really buying coming in? Well, you look at the book right now, there are no orders on the ask. It seems bearish to me. We know there's massive buyers for NVIDIA, but they might be located lower. Oops, let's go to a higher time frame here. So we had a level here. And this might be a level where we find buyers. And it might not be today that we find buyers. Go back to the 5. A lot of chop going on in Tesla. Still making new lows. By that I meant, sorry, I should have elaborated. I was looking the 5-minute time frame from yesterday's close. Pre-market, we were making lows. Came down here, looks to have possibly found support. But this was a big breakdown. Are we just retesting this level of 414 for the next move down? Possibly. I don't see anything obvious yet. Oops. There you go. There's NQ. Yeah, I want to see how it reacts to this level here. Personally, that's what I want to see. I want an alert if it comes down here. But yeah, the short on NQ would have worked for sure. A lot of it has to do with position sizing. So just take this opportunity to share that I created this. There we go, make it a little bit bigger. I created this tool to help my students figure out their position sizing. So with an account size, I just put in whatever numbers here, so 20,000. So there's only 3 things to input in here, and then everything else is calculated for you. So you calculate your entry price, and then your stop. For a long, your stop is below, and it needs to be at a reasonable level. It's not just random. It has to do with levels. And then everything else is calculated for you. It shows you where your stop should be. You've identified it as 340, 348, let's say. So it tells you at $66 risk, you should buy 50 shares. That's the capital that's required. There's your total risk for 1 hour. And then we have where the targets are for 2R, 3, and 4. Right. So with your 50 shares or your, if you're going with 1% of your account. So I've created this. If anybody's interested, I put something in the room. If anybody wants a copy of it, or if you want to talk about it, it's more obviously for beginner traders, or for people that need to work on their risk sizing. So let me know if anybody's interested. And that was for the long, by the way, and I've made this the same tool on the short side. So I was going to make it all on one and just have it get, but I figure, you know what, it's for teaching purposes, it's easier to have them on two separate sheets. Interesting pattern forming on Microsoft for a possible double top. Right? It's making it up there, especially with the market moving down generally. So is this a double top? Possibly. I am going to look at it on the 5-minute time frame. Low of that candle, 404, and we lose 404. A little bit of buying coming in. Again, looking at Microsoft. Not expecting it to go down to yesterday's low, but there might be a possibility to catch a move down to PDC. PDC is at 458. 58, yeah, there's not a lot of RVR there unless you're going really aggressively. Oh, 535. Yeah, Microsoft making new highs. So no longer a double top. Tesla retesting for 1422 is an interesting level on Tesla. The pre-market low. Yeah, pretty much. First half hour is almost printed. See, now that we've made these lows, especially on SPY, now we're consolidating or just chopping around this level here. I almost wonder why there's a red line there. Well, it's just higher time frame numbers. Same thing with Apple here. Just higher time frame line that I added on there. Microsoft, very interesting. Definitely looks like it put in a bottom there a few days ago. I don't know if anybody's looking at anything. One more minute for this candle to print on Microsoft. So it's no longer my double top. Now it's a kangaroo tail at the top. I don't like that we're right above R4. R4, 404.50. 404.50. And if it comes down to this level, then it makes it difficult to set a stop on it. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Microsoft, possibility for a rejection at the highs, break and retest lower on Tesla, possible. It's putting in green candles though, so I don't like it. Might come all the way back up to 414 area. We saw a little bit of a pullback in Microsoft. So it did not close near the bottom. But there's definitely some selling at the tops here. What does the book look like on Microsoft? Yeah, not much. 81% ROL is decent. Still continuing selling on Google. A lot of rejection candles on Amazon. NQ alert. This is where I want to know. What's it going to do here? Right, we are approaching this level that could be, right? It was resistance, could be support, especially if we just wick down here and then make new highs, or it could just be continuing down. And now that that's happening, I won't do anything until the 5-minute candle prints. So I need to leave for a few minutes. Actually, I like this this rejection on Tesla. 412. What does 412 do? The book looks a little bit heavier on the sell side. It put in a bearish candle. What does it do with 412? Maybe it's 412. That's why patient pays. I was looking at the possibility of shorting. I wanted to see what it did at 412, and now it's just punching up. Might be just getting the tops of the impatient people that shorted here with their stops right above. See what happens on Tesla. On the 1-minute time frame, it put in a large 1-minute green candle. Interesting level on Tesla. That is a big kangaroo tail on Qs and SPY. We could be finding some buyers here. Again, the thing with kangaroo tails is that it's difficult to put a stop. Indecision candle on Tesla. There you go. So the candle closed. It's not a KT. Does anybody know Martin is having a presentation, a webinar today. I don't know if anybody's listening right now that could share in the chat or on the Discord. I just don't know what time it's at. 412, very interesting level on Tesla. Low of this candle was 412. The low of the current candle is 412.14. $16,000 shares at 412 on Tesla. Where's this gap? We already filled the gap. Broke down, retesting. See if we can get a bearish candle and break down below 412 if possible. So that Martin webinar, I just got the message that it's at 11 a.m. Eastern, right here in the Google Meet. I'm gonna log off at 10:30 or around then, and then I will log back in at 11 a.m. for Martin's presentation, and I will record it because Avi cannot be around today. Another indecision candle. on Tesla. So I'm not doing anything until 10:15, so I'll be back in a minute. So we broke down below the 412. Want to see how this 5-minute candle closes. I want to see if there's weakness. Definitely weakness in SPY and Qs. NVDA, Google, will it break down, make new lows? A lot of rejection in Amazon, Apple. Some selling coming in now. Gotta go below a day. There you go. I'm in short on Tesla. Targeting low a day. I took it on options, so it won't show up here. 410. I want to see how it reacts to 410.11 before doing anything. There you go, blowing past it. So options contract are going from 470 up $1 already. Uh, 408.93, 409 is the target now. And de-risking because of the large move. So my stop is back to break even. 472. And I want to see, because we're seeing a lot of selling in these 10 tickers here. I want to see how it reacts to 409 before doing anything. Right, 93. It is at S6 now. I'm looking at Tesla. There you go. So that was the breakdown, the retest when this big engulfing could not make a new high. I waited for a 5-minute bearish candle, and once we broke this low, this was my entry right here. Target was low of day, but I want to see, I mean, if we make a new 1-minute high and I see a lot of buying, then I'll get out of my options contracts. And by making a new high, I mean closing above the 1 minute. I'm de-risked, so it's a green trade no matter what. Above 410. We close a candle above 410, then I might get out. There's the next move. I wish I would have gotten into SPY and Qs, because that's where I trade my larger size. This is just regular size. Still a good move, huh? Or from 472 to 670 right now. Not giving me any reason to sell. I will bring this up on the higher time frame and see where there could possibly be support. We are lower than here. This area right here could be an area of support. NVDA is down 5%. So I'm going to see how it reacts. Let's move this one over here. So 407.50 area could be an area of interest where buyers might step in. But with the market looking like this, Google, Amazon, AMD, Apple seems to find some buyers, Meta, NVIDIA, right? I'm not in a hurry to get rid of my position, my put position on Tesla. Oh, that's an old alert on NVIDIA. Okay, so I had a range here. So we're below 407. Are we making it all the way down to 404? Now I'm moving my range order. Instead of it being break even, I am moving it up to 650. My entry was 470 something. Those of you who are familiar with options, 472 was my entry. We're at 750 right now. Hopefully you guys caught some of these moves. Tarek, if you're listening, that NQ short in pre-market, man, where's that now? Wow. Quite the drop. Tesla, the contract. The contract's at 750 right now. The spread is getting larger. There's less volume on it. Look at this level that we had drawn earlier on Tesla. Right? Look at this level here, and look at where the 1 minute candles are finding support here. 408.50. As far as getting out of my position, I don't think I will do anything until we make a new 5 minute high. If we reclaim 408.50, I might get out of my short. Wow, lost 407. If we closing above 408, I think I will take profit on this. 12. Still looks weak.
Above alert.
So I just set an alert to see what it would do at 408. So if we get a candle that closes of 408.50, did not close above 408.50. Still in my position. 406.89. I might add into the position. Or actually, I might do it on another contract. 406. Now we'll see. Low is 406.89. Wow. A lot we can learn from this candle right here. If it closes near the bottom in another minute and then breaks the low, this thing could possibly be going lower. 406.50 is the low. Still within that range that I had drawn earlier. Right? Possible range of support. Oh, it's 10:30. All right, indecision candle. What do we do here? Depending on what happens here. These will stay on until this trade plays out, at least for the next few minutes. We break below 406.50. This could make another leg lower. All right, interesting level here. We're going to make new lows at low 406.50. I've got my take profit at a 100% move. Around 9, what would it be? 940, 944. And we just dropped 50. Right? And we were reprinting it. Now we're firmly below 50. There you go. I'm moving my range order to above this range here, above 408.